There's a long-legged creature standing almost perfectly still under the edge of your porch right now. And if you grew up in America, there's a good chance someone once told you the same thing. Daddy longlegs are incredibly venomous, but their fangs are too small to bite people. That story sounds believable. It is also wrong. The animal we're talking about today is a harvestman, and it is not even a true spider. It doesn't spin webs. It doesn't have venom glands like spiders, and it isn't waiting for a chance to bite you. But that is only the first surprise, because the strange little creature most people ignore, crush, or sweep away is doing something much more interesting in your backyard than almost anyone realizes. The confusion begins with the name. In America, daddy longlegs can mean more than one animal. Some people use it for harvestmen. Others use it for cellar spiders. In some places, people even use the same nickname for crane flies. Three very different creatures, one shared name, and decades of mixed-up stories. The harvestman is the one commonly found walking outdoors across leaves, logs, garden beds, damp stones, and old wood. It belongs to a group called Opiliones. At first glance, it looks like a spider with impossibly long legs and a tiny body. Look closer though, and the difference becomes obvious. A true spider usually has two main body sections. A harvestman looks more like one compact oval body balanced above the ground. No narrow spider-like waist, no web, no silk trap, no venom system like a venomous spider. So if it doesn't have a web and it isn't sitting around waiting to bite something, what exactly is it doing out there? This is where those ridiculous-looking legs start to make sense. To us, they look fragile. To a harvestman, they are survival equipment. Those legs help it explore the world ahead before its body gets there, touching surfaces and helping the animal detect obstacles and movement. Think about the scale of your yard from its point of view. A fallen leaf can be a roof. A crack in a fence can be a hiding place. A drop of water can become a serious obstacle. And a hand reaching down from above can feel like something enormous crashing out of the sky. The harvestman survives by sensing first and moving second. But there is a problem. Those same long legs are easy for predators to grab. Birds, frogs, toads, reptiles, larger spiders, and insects may all prey on harvestmen. And if something grabs one of those thin legs, the harvestman has one of the strangest escape tricks in the yard. It may leave the leg behind. The behavior is called autotomy. Instead of allowing a predator to pull in the entire animal, some harvestmen can detach a captured leg and escape. And the story gets stranger. The lost leg may continue twitching for a while after it comes off. Imagine a bird grabbing what it thinks is dinner, only to have the body escape while the detached leg continues moving. That movement may distract the predator just long enough for the harvestman to disappear. For something that small, survival can mean giving up one part before losing everything, and that is still not its only defense. Some harvestmen can release unpleasant-smelling chemicals from special glands when they are disturbed. Again, notice the pattern. It doesn't attack. It discourages. It escapes. It survives. Now here is the detail that changes the way most homeowners should look at them. Harvestmen are often omnivores and scavengers. That means they may feed on small insects, soft-bodied organisms, dead bugs, fungi, decaying plant material, and tiny scraps of organic matter. In other words, that creature walking under your shrubs may be participating in the cleanup work of the garden. Not glamorous work, not something you normally see, but work happening constantly beneath your feet. A backyard is not just grass, flowers, vegetables, mulch, and a fence. At ground level, it is a moving food web. Earthworms, beetles, fungi, bacteria, millipedes, and many other small organisms are constantly breaking down material and becoming food for something else. The harvestman moves through that same hidden system. It may consume a tiny organism. It may feed on a dead insect. It may pick at decaying matter. Later, a frog, bird, spider, or another predator may eat the harvestman. Cleaner in one moment, meal in the next. That is how a living yard works. And this is why seeing a harvestman does not mean your garden has suddenly developed a dangerous pest problem. It may mean something much simpler: moisture, shade, shelter, leaf litter, small life. So why are harvestmen treated like pests? Mostly because they look strange. 8 legs, a tiny body, slow movement through shadowed places. People see that silhouette and react before they understand what they are looking at. They spray it. They crush it. They sweep it away. But the harvestman is not usually chewing holes through your tomatoes or destroying your lettuce. It is not waiting under your porch to attack a pet. And it is not carrying the legendary deadly venom so many people were warned about. That myth survives because it has been repeated for years. But repetition does not turn a story into biology. And now we get to the part that makes this fragile-looking animal even more remarkable. Harvestmen are ancient. Their group has existed for hundreds of millions of years. Long before suburban backyards. Long before wooden fences. Long before garden hoses and porch lights. Creatures with this basic body design were already moving through ancient environments. Think about that the next time you see one walking across a wet leaf after rain. You are looking at a body plan that has survived across an enormous stretch of time. No dramatic armor, no web, no powerful venom system. Just a small body, long sensitive legs, careful movement, simple defenses, and an ability to survive among larger animals. What looks weak is not always poorly designed. Sometimes it is simply designed for a different kind of survival. So what should you do when you find one? If it is outside, probably nothing. Leave it alone. If it is walking across a wall, fence, log, garden bed, or porch, it is already where it belongs. You do not need to spray it. You do not need to crush it. And you do not need pest control, because a harvestman appeared after a rainy evening. If one wanders indoors and you want it outside, use a cup and a piece of paper. Place the cup over the animal. Slide the paper underneath. Carry it outside gently. Release it near shade, leaf litter, or another damp outdoor corner. And if your children or grandchildren are standing nearby, it is worth showing them what the animal actually is. Not everything with 8 long legs is a spider. Not everything that looks strange is dangerous. And not everything living in the dark corners of a yard needs to be destroyed. The next time you see a daddy longlegs standing on a wet fence rail, stop for a second before reaching for the broom. Watch the legs. Watch how they touch the world ahead. Watch the tiny body suspended between them. It is not preparing to attack. It is trying to figure out where the next safe step is. That little animal may spend its life moving through places you barely notice, feeding on tiny scraps, avoiding predators, and becoming part of the food web around your home. We tend to judge backyard creatures by appearance. Pretty means welcome. Strange means suspicious. 8 legs means spider. Spider means danger. But nature does not organize itself around our assumptions. The harvestman is a perfect example. It looks like a spider, but it is not a true spider. It looks fragile, yet its lineage is ancient. It looks useless, yet it participates in the cleanup and food web of the yard. It looks frightening to some people, yet most of the time its only goal is to get away from anything your size. So the next time those long, trembling legs appear under your porch light, or beside the garden after rain, remember what you are actually looking at. Not a monster, not a deadly spider, not something waiting to attack. Just a tiny survivor, moving carefully through a world far larger than itself. And maybe that is the part worth remembering most. The creature you were taught to fear may have been harmless the entire time. If you have harvestmen around your porch, garage, garden, or backyard, tell us where you usually find them. And if someone you know still believes the old Daddy Longlegs venom story, send them this video. The next time they see those long legs moving through the shadows, they may decide to leave the little creature exactly where it is.